So the question was, do you think it's insecure if a guy does not want to date a woman who does sex work or OnlyFans?
I think it depends on the kind of sex work. Like if it's porn and the girl is having multiple scenes with different people, then that's different than a girl that's selling provocative images, and that's different than a girl that's done sex tapes with someone, even if it was a partner. But
sure, I agree with you that there's degrees to it. For example, a girl who's selling tasteful lingerie photos, that's not as bad as a girl who's having sex with other men, and that's not as bad as a street prostitute. I agree with you that there's degrees to it.
I don't think it makes you insecure to not want to. Honestly, it's preference.
That's fair. What about you?
No.
Wait, hold on. You were.
I'm talking too much. You can go.
You were the one arguing that it was insecure. Okay,
no, I wasn't. I didn't say it was insecure. No, I agree. I don't think it's insecure. No, we were talking about something else. Like I think it's completely fair if a man doesn't want to be with a woman who does OnlyFans. Like,
but I thought you said it was insecure.
No, I didn't.
I'm pretty sure that.
No, she was saying it was insecure.
Wait.
No, I'm pretty sure the reason. Okay, fine. What about you?
I didn't.
Okay,
we can play it back. Okay. I'll have my girl record this and I'll send you the video. I did not say that.
I'm pretty sure.
Let's do a timestamp.
Go ahead.
Anyone have that timestamp? Send it.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't think that's insecure. I just think that it might not line up with their morals and their values, because different men have different morals and values.
Okay.
And whether it be that. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't think it's insecure. I think it's a boundary.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's not insecure. If someone is dating an OnlyFans model, it means that they don't really have much self-worth in themselves if they allow their wife or girlfriend to be doing that. I think if they're a high-value man or so... Oh, sorry. I think if they're a high-value man, then they would want a high-value woman who's not only just traditional and has good morals, but is also virtuous. I think there's that too as well, which is why your past does actually matter, but you can change from it, and I believe in that, as long as you stick to it.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
I don't want to act like her. No, I'm messing with you. Are you saying that a woman cannot be a high-value woman and be an OnlyFans woman?
Well, okay, depending to the degree of it, she can, I guess. In this day and age, so many women are doing that they could come out of it as long as they stuck to a certain faith or moral, whether that's a religion or they just...
I'm saying while she's an OnlyFans girl.
Yeah, no.
No.
Isabella?
Okay, I do not think it's insecure for a man to not want to be with an OnlyFans girl. I think that a woman reflects her man, and as we all agreed, even though some of you do OnlyFans, you guys did say that maybe I don't want my family seeing this. It's obviously not a respectable career choice, so it reflects on the man because everyone else can see what is supposed to be his, and I really do believe that. So, and I also think that it takes a pretty emasculated man to be okay with that. Sharing his woman's body, even if it's just
not
via
sharing,
picture.
it's just images, you know.
Renting out.
But everyone can see
it's
what
pay-per-view.
it is.
It's
Wake up in the
different.
morning, took a pics, and that's it. That's not. I'm sharing my body. I'm sharing my body only with my boyfriend.
But also, it reflects that the man isn't providing for his woman, because why would she have to go out and make money that way if he's not providing for her?
Because maybe she wants to have her own money, you know.
And I think that shows that she's not submitted to her man.
Is there anything wrong with a woman wanting to make her own money and, you know, wanting to enjoy, you know, trips and wanting to enjoy nice things and, you know, wanting to be able to, you know, sustain herself in the case that, you know, maybe she doesn't find a husband or it doesn't work out?
Do you need to do OnlyFans to do that?
No, but I do think you can probably make a lot more money doing that than doing a job where you're working 40 hours a week.
You know what? I actually had something. I actually had a thought on that. And I might get dragged in the chat for this, and Marquette, you might disagree with me, but it did occur to me, like, for example, and granted, I realize probably most women who start doing OnlyFans, the vast majority of them, are not going to make a crazy amount of money. Some can, some do, can make obscene amount of money, but I think probably the majority are making maybe a couple thousand a month, maybe even less.
If that, yeah.
But it does occur to me, like, let's say a girl is so extremely on OnlyFans, extremely successful on OnlyFans, she can make, working for 3 years, she makes $10 million. I mean, versus having to like do some bullshit corporate drone job for 40, 50 years and sit in a chair and look at a screen and have a boss. I mean, I can kind of see the appeal because, like, it's not clear to me if the ultimate enjoyment in life is sitting in an office for every week from 9 to 5. So like, but what do you give up in exchange also is the question. But like, I kind of get it. Like, I mean, and to some degree, the job that I do now is opening me up to certain difficulties and stressors and liabilities. And there's some women that don't want to date me because I have this somewhat controversial podcast and I'm out there in the public. Some women don't want to date a partner who's publicly out there, even if they're squeaky clean, which I'm not. But when it comes to the podcast, it's kind of controversial, right? Yeah. So I'm making certain trade-offs, but it does occur to me that, I mean, if you're weighing working until retirement age, until you're 60, 65 as a woman in some droning corporate job, I kind of get it. That's what
I'm saying.
I kind of get it. But when it comes to the woman that I would date, I do think it is a suboptimal dating choice.
I can understand
in the same way that it might be a suboptimal dating choice for a woman to date a millionaire over a billionaire, to use an extreme example.
That's fair.
But
I think everything comes at a price, and I think some women, I think myself, starting OnlyFans, like, hey, this could be looked at in a negative way. I could have this negative stigma, and there could be some men who potentially, would not consider me as a partner because of what I do. And I think some women, I'm sure, the women who do OnlyFans probably realize that, but the trade-off is their freedom, the money that they're making.
But it did occur
they're
to me.
being able to enjoy their lives. Maybe she's taking care of her family. Like, I don't know.
But it did occur to me, what if you made enough money in a 3-year period to basically just retire at 23? Again, I'm sure that's like most women who do OnlyFans.
Even if they made that amount of money, they wouldn't be able to utilize that outside of OnlyFans for very long. They'll be broke shortly.
You think that?
Why?
I don't think that's what
they'll be broke shortly.
Because I have.
This is Red Pill Guy.
Wait, are you talking?
He was so good the last hour.
Hold on. Are you talking about lifestyle creep? Like they start making so much money that their lifestyle is going to creep, and then
that, and they're not business people.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
But it's not true.
Not at all.
Okay.
I own an OnlyFans agency, for instance.
Would
so
anyone like to hear why? Or
sure, go ahead.
I don't have to explain.
Because I'm like, I know multiple girls.
So in your case, it would be different because you're operating a business system rather than being a practitioner, right? So you are a practitioner, but you also operate the business system. Now, when you get really effective in operating that system, then you don't even need to be a practitioner, right?
Correct.
Just like he can get up and walk away and the show continues, the super chats continue. It's a business system.
Right, but when you say that, most OnlyFans models
most of
are
them will
not
be
business
broke.
people. I'm like, that's
they're
not true.
They're
I
not
agree.
business
Most
people.
of them probably, but there are exceptions.
Most people, even in the most developed economy in the world, the United States of America, are not business people. There's no chance that an OnlyFans girl who makes multiple millions is going to display significantly different behavior than, say, a football player who makes many millions and ends up broke years later. Why would she do anything differently? And the football player has an agent around him, has a financial manager, and they still end up broke. Here's why. They acquired their wealth not using the mind, but using the body. It doesn't mean they don't have a mind, but often they've not developed the skills of financial literacy. And what's more, they don't know much about investing, and they don't have a business that they can push that money into such that it would grow instead of disappear, because they're going to maintain a certain lifestyle. So yes, they will inevitably become broke. And that's in the majority of cases. Now, if you guys are outliers, I very much so hope that's the case. I'd be happy for you and impressed, but it's improbable.
I went into it knowing that I wanted to be out in a few years, and I have a certain amount set aside from every single month. My lifestyle has not increased or changed with the amount of money that I've made. And yeah, I don't agree with that.
And you're speaking of your case, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and for your case, you might be an outlier in the data. You might be an anomaly, and that's very good. I'd be very happy for you, and I don't perceive you to be a very materialistic person, so maybe it's true in your case. I'm just saying what is most likely, and it's important to speak of what's most likely, because if a young lady is watching this show and she's like, oh, these OnlyFans girls are making so much money, I want to go become an OnlyFans girl, and then she does it, and now her pictures and videos are on the internet forever, and she only ended up making like $8,000 in her run, and then the money starts to taper off, then it's like, wow, you sold your future for $8,000 US, and you can never get it back.
If she only made $8,000, not that many people saw it, so I think she'll be just fine.
Here's the problem. Here's a true story.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is a true story. I hire a lot of assistant generalists for different businesses that I have. I hired a young lady in Nevada. She was a student at UNLV. I looked at her resume, seemed phenomenal. I was like, okay, great, this is a good hire. And I'd been searching for a while for someone good. I like to have good people on my team. So I hired her, and when I go live, I tell all of my folks, I say, hey, I want you to do the job that you want to do most, that's aligned with where you want to be in the world. You're an assistant generalist. I need you to generally help me make money, and whatever way makes sense to you, I want you to tell me what that is, and we're going to do that. So I had one Vietnamese assistant, one white assistant, and then this girl was Habesha, Ethiopian, East African, good looking girl. And she says, oh, I want to come on camera, right? So she said, I want to come on camera. I said, are you sure? She says, yeah. I said, well, I want you to know I'm not doing a fictional show. This is a real show. People will be watching. You know, I'm not ultra famous, but there's enough people watching that, you know, the truth, people can find out the truth. The internet is undefeated. She's like, yeah, no problem. I want to be on camera. I was like, all right, for sure. First time we go live, someone sends in a super chat, says, hey, don't believe her. You know, she's just fronting. She's just pretending to be a good girl. And then I always say, I was like, look, is your life based on hating? Because I teach people to be optimistic, positive, you know, build, don't destroy. So I tell the person who sent the super chat, like, tearing her down, does that help you? I just thought they were being like, as you said, red pill, you know, incel kind of thinking, like jealousy because they couldn't get her kind of thing. I was like, it's silliness. We go live a couple more times. One time I'm walking into a meeting for one of my other businesses, right? I'm walking into a serious meeting, and I'm just like going through some emails, and I see an email. Guy says, hey, this is, you know, your assistant, click this link. And I see it's a pornographic link. I'm kind of like, this dude's ridiculous. I hate pornography, right? So I just like, okay, going to my meeting. I come out of my meeting, right? And I click the link, but it wouldn't open up on my phone for some reason. I kind of forget about it. Then eventually I get on my computer later, right? I click the link, and video starts playing, and it's an East African girl. Now, mind you, I've been to Ethiopia. These people have a lot of homogeneity. They do look very much so the same, right? So I was like, oh, maybe this is just another East African girl. And just as I'm about to close the video, because I'm disgusted, I don't want to watch it, it's like an old, fat, white dude. He looked like maybe he was in his early 50s, and it was a young Ethiopian, good-looking girl, right? And just as I'm about to close it, her hand reaches out, and then I see something that is easy to remember. She wears a ring that has a cross on it, because she's Ethiopian Orthodox Christian. And as soon as I saw that ring, I was like, oh, that's her. And then she leaned forward, and then her necklace fell out, because she always wears a necklace that has a cross on it as well. And so her ring was shown when she grabs this guy's penis, and then when she was leaning down to do some other things you all are familiar with, her necklace falls out, her Christian necklace. And then at that point,
that off to making that video.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that's how they are nowadays.
Like, girl, what are you doing? Fucking with Jesus Christ all over
You've met Christians like that, right? That's how they are nowadays. So anyways, the question immediately for me was, okay, now I don't mind having someone who works for me who does OnlyFans, who's a street hooker. I don't care. As long as you told me the truth at the beginning, and as long as you came on camera live with me under your true identity. So I shared this with one of my assistants, not that we gossip, but I wanted to know from a woman's perspective. Because there's some things that as men we can't relate to.